'Twas the night of the wedding, and all through the booking house, not an eye was dry, not even a spouse.
It's often said that a marriage begins well before the wedding day, and the efforts of marriage continue well beyond the ceremony. A brief moment in time is all that is required to create the bond of marriage, but it takes a lifetime of love, commitment, and compromise to make a marriage durable and everlasting.
We have both had the opportunity to watch the two of you become inseparable as the months and years have passed. You have developed an unbreakable bond with not only the passing of time, but with the sharing of experiences, successes, and even challenges.
Anyone who's spent time around Kelley and Jimmy can see how clearly they respect and care for one another. All of us gathered here today are witness to how much, in this very moment, they undoubtedly love each other. But their love is not in just one moment, not even this very important moment. It's in every moment. It's in all the big ones. It's in the moment they knew they'd found their match. Like when Jimmy realized that leaving Kelley's apartment was the worst part of his week. But it's mostly in the small ones, a million uncelebrated moments that blur together. Finding love in those everyday moments is foundational to a healthy marriage.
Oh my God, you look amazing. Kelley, there are typically 3 distinctive buckets in my head, which keeps it simple, and they are back then, now, and in the future. In the back then times, aka before we met, I was just a gamer sitting in my tiny middle room that was too cluttered to move around in, yelling at my computer screen and playing Destiny with my friends. And everything was relatively quiet. That back then bucket started to transition into the now, when Freeberg sent a message that said, "Yo, Jimmy, let me set you up with this girl." That message changed pretty much everything about my life up until that point. And before anyone says anything, I can hear you all thinking, wait, all those things he describes are what he does now. How is that any different? Well, now I'm just a gamer sitting in my tiny middle room that is too cluttered to move around in, yelling at my computer screen, but I don't play Destiny. And things are not very quiet anymore. Now, I have Ollie and Maisie, and sure, Benny too, and they are anything but quiet. Now, I have an entire house to move around in and play games in different rooms whenever I feel the need to switch up a little bit. Now, I have you. And that makes the biggest difference in the world. Now we can spend a night, a day, a weekend, or more than a year inside like we did in quarantine, and it never gets old because we can do it together. Everything is how it should be now. And while it's easy to get caught up in the now bucket, I think it's a good time to think about what will be in the future and promises we can make to each other. Going forward, also known as in the future, tying everything together.
See what you did there.
I promise to always love you and keep you first in my thoughts, even though I don't have many thoughts to begin with. I promise to always wait and wave to you at the door when you go to get your nails done every few weeks or however frequent that whole thing is. I promise to leave little presents around the house whenever I can, and by that I mean empty cups that I use once and forget about, or pieces of mail that I meant to put in my office but somehow they got away from me.
Yes.
And finally, I promise to always be there for you no matter what, because now, you are my future.
Jim, the hardest part of writing these vows was figuring out how to start them. Like, how do I even begin to describe how obsessed I am with you, or how incredibly intelligent you are, or just how insanely in love I am with you? There was a time in my life where I thought that maybe marriage wasn't really in the cards for me. I seem to have an impressive talent for picking all the wrong people at all the wrong times. But then you came into my life and flipped my world upside down in the best way possible. You took all my broken pieces and you put them back together with your unconditional and unwavering love. And I hope you know just how grateful I am for you. I knew after our very first date that I could spend forever with you, and here we are. So that just confirms a very important fact, that I am always right. Now I have some promises that I would like to make to you as your new wife. I promise to love you, to honor you, but not obey, because that's a little creepy, and I think we all know that I wear the pants in this relationship. I promise to always put you above everything else, even Starbucks, and shopping, and The Bachelor. That was a tough one, so I promise to really listen to you, even when you talk about science, or conspiracy theories, or how just about everything in this world is a scam. I promise to always support your little projects, even if it means taking over my dining room table to organize Pokemon cards for 6 months. So I guess I'll just end by saying my most important vow of all. I vow to love you with all my heart for the rest of our lives until we're wrinkled and gray. And even more importantly, I vow to continue always being right. I love you. I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
With the promise to love you today, tomorrow, always and forever.
Though you've kissed 1,000 times, today your kiss is now a promise. We're so happy to now pronounce you husband and wife.
Jim, this looks insane. Look at these. Stop. Oh my god. Stop. Look at the dusting.
Introducing for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Devlin.
So Cal and I have been attached at the hip from the first moment we met, and I remember thinking how lucky I was that I found my best friend out of a Facebook plea for a freshman year roommate, especially because our initial read on each other was that she was a Jersey girl and I was a horse girl. We chose each other anyway, and it's been one of the greatest choices of my life. Jimbo, I knew you were the one for her the moment I met you, and I know that she already knew at that point too. I'm so happy to have gotten to watch my best friend find her soulmate, and I can't wait to continue to share big moments with the two of you. I love you both. Cheers to a long and happy life together. To Kel and Jimmy.
Kelley really embraces her passions and her interests. She's always been that way. She is decisive and confident in her choices, everything from her style to her career choice. You know, she was the one who moved out of mom and dad's house and never looked back. So when she met Jim, I never had any doubts. I shouldn't say that. One small doubt when I saw his Destiny tattoo. But that's water under the bridge now, you know. See, Jim is a very caring, compassionate, and just a fun person to be around. You know, at any family gathering or a Zoom call to catch up, the first words out of my son's mouth is always, "Where's Jim? Aunt Kelko, where's Jim?" Now, see, I myself, I've been married for almost 10 years. So I feel that puts me in a position to offer Jim some marital advice. And as the big brother-in-law, that's kind of my job. But Jim, I don't want to bore you. So I'm going to try to put this in a way that our groom can relate. Now, Jim, a big part of being a husband is listening. You know, and there'll be many times that she will ask for your opinion regarding things you don't give a shit about. But as a husband, it's important for us to understand what is important to our partners and try to find a way to relate. So the next time Kelley asks you about what color her newest Keurig machine should be, or about the newest fun food-shaped chew toy for the dogs, I want you to think of something. I want you to go back to when you were a little boy and you first walked into that building and you were approached by a man with hair like silver, a pristine white lab coat, and he first spoke to you and you were offered a choice: Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur. Jim, if you put the same amount of thought and effort into your marriage that you did in Pallet Town on that day, you will be just fine. Kelley, I love you. I'm so proud of you and everything you've done. And Jimmy, I'm so happy to call you my brother-in-law, so please raise a glass and toast to Kelley and Jim D.
We met at a time that most people consider to be formative. We were 18 years old, away from home in a meaningful way for the first time, and surrounded by what seemed like a million strangers all around our age at Rutgers. We both went home and, life went on. We hung out sometimes, talked about all kinds of stuff, sometimes girls. And I found out years later, not from him, but from my Facebook notification, that he had met somebody, and I was furious. I immediately called him, excited, but also furious. And I was like, "Jim, why didn't you tell me? Also, oh my God, tell me all about her. She seems so cool. When can I come meet her? I gotta meet this girl. She's this person, special person in Jimmy's life. I gotta meet her, because Jimmy's special to me." So I drove down there eventually, and we met, and very much unlike meeting Jim, I love Kelley instantly. She's cool, she's fun, she's beautiful. She also did not murder me in a vampire-themed icebreaker game. And most importantly, she made Jimmy happy. She made Jimmy very, very happy. And anybody who does that is good in my book. Jimmy, you're my best friend and I love you, man. Kelley, you're the best part of his life, and there's no question about it. Thank you so much for taking care of him, for giving him everything you have. I love you guys. And to that, cheers.
It's really hard for me to believe, really, that we've reached this incredible milestone. And it seems like only yesterday that I would hurry home from work to watch a very special TV series with Kelley. It was SpongeBob SquarePants. I would like to just wish Kelley and Jim all the best in their future journey together. But I do have a couple suggestions from this elder. I want you to think about live fully and always challenge yourselves. Never forget to be kind, humble, and generous, and inspire someone as it will inspire you. Despite occasional disappointments, always be grateful for what you have and never be afraid to take the road less traveled.